We are live. What are you barking at, girl? What you barking at? Don't be barking at nothing. Good, we're live now. That should be working. I was having some issues, so I had to re-kick it off. So hopefully you are getting this live now. And no mistake there. So took me a second, but I wasn't planning on doing live, and then I had a thought, and that thought was confirmed, so I figured I would go live, talk about that. I'm back, take 2, right? Sound is good, no buffering. My dogs are barking, getting crazy. Got the fire roaring. So let's talk about this Patrick Frazee character and what's happened now. He's been sentenced. He's been found guilty. He is, for all intensive purposes, evaluating his life. And let me tell you where he's at right now. He's in the Teller County Jail. And I can explain this place to you in vivid detail. So if you haven't ever heard my story of the Teller County Jail, I want to explain to you exactly where Patrick Frazee is. He is in holding cell number 1. Hey, chill, kids, chill. He's in holding cell number 1. Now, holding cell number 1 is reserved for the suicide watch. And what suicide watch means he is under 24-hour surveillance, 24-hour watch by a physical person, not just a camera. You got to understand, not just a camera. It's a 24-hour. Somebody gets up every 15 minutes. They have to get up. They got a little magic wand, and they have to go over. They have to look in his window, and they have to touch that magic wand to a little magnet by the door. He's in he very possibly could be in a suicide smock, but I doubt it. Because of his suicide watch, it's not that he's probably hadn't threatened suicide or attempted suicide. It's probably a cautionary tale that they've done because he just got sentenced to life in prison plus 156 years. You like that? Plus 156 years. So listen, there's only a few ways he's getting out of this sentence. One, if he jailbreaks. Although this is a possibility, I don't see this as a high probability. I see that it's more of a higher probability that he would actually try to commit suicide than it would for him to try to jailbreak. So he's sitting in a cell right in the booking area. So suicide watch at Teller County is pretty simple. They put him in the booking area where there's somebody sitting at that booking area 24 hours a day, unless there's an emergency going on in the facility, then they may step away. Does he get a TV? Well, he doesn't get a TV at Teller County. They do have TVs in the pods. It's not like he has a TV in his room by himself. And if he's up front in suicide watch, they will let him sit outside in the booking area. And this is where I ran into him. So the last time I ran into him, he was on suicide watch too. And because he was on, I don't know why he was on suicide watch. I don't know the reasonings behind it, but I do know he was on suicide watch the last time I ran into him inside the jail. because he was up there in the suicide watch cell. They were checking on him every 15 minutes. And there was another guy in that same cell with him who did have a suicide smock on. How long before he goes to prison will he be moved? Justine has asked. Justine, he will be moved, but as of right now, he is still in the Teller County Jail. Now, he will eventually be transferred, and there's a few things that he may transfer directly out of Teller County Jail to whatever his first facility is. The best part about this is Patrick Frazee is going to see a few facilities in his stretch over the years, because they're not going to leave him at one facility forever. So he's going to see a couple of facilities. Now, because of the overcrowding in the DOC system, he may be sold to another prison. And just like Chris Watts was taken out of Colorado, the same thing could very well happen to Patrick Frazee. And I hope it actually does happen to him. I hope they do ship him across the country. And he could very possibly be shipped to Wisconsin, be shipped to Texas, be shipped to California. Thank you, Golden Girl 1953. I've missed YouTube. Been back a few times, but decided I would come back today to the YouTube. Now, if in fact Patrick gets shipped out of Colorado, right now he's on suicide watch, and that's what we want to talk about is where he's at, what he's doing, the fact that he's not going to be around his place much longer if in fact they move him. That's what I'm trying to kill something on the internet. I need to quit playing with the computer. Are you going to be there for KK's court date? So just 3 cheese pizza now on pizza night? No pepperoni. Well, it depends on how many people are still sending bankroll to Patrick. The last time we got some info from the inside Teller County Jail from some inmates was that he was having pizza parties every weekend, being paid for by people that are putting money on his books from around the world. The question will be, how many of those sickos still exist out there? I hope they terrorize him before he leaves. I doubt if he would live the lifespan of Prophet Moses. Oh, you're talking about his... Well, here's the deal. Life without parole plus 156 years, it's for good measure. So, Miss Justice is in the house. I think he'd like Texas with its cowboy history and all the Chisholm Trail. Yeah, Texas prisons are hard on white boys, though. Texas prison's a white boy minority, man. Patrick has one option when he gets to prison. One, become somebody's little girl, or join a prison gang. And there's not very many options for Patrick in the prison gang world. He's gonna have to join the Aryans, the Peckerwoods, or he's going to have to find Jesus quickly and become a Muslim, because as far as the prison world goes, he's going to be in general population, maybe not immediately, maybe not right away, but he's not going to be any special or any different than any of these other killers that are inside prison. And they may put him away by himself for a little bit, and it's more for the suicide watch thing. But then he'll be put into general population or into some segregated population of the prison. He's not just going to be segregated solitary confinement 23-hour lockdown stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how his life over the next few years, because he'll be going through a classification. You got to remember, Patrick has zero priors. So it's not like Patrick has a bunch of priors where he's been institutionalized and understands the ways of the institution. But what you need to understand now is his eyes are very narrow. His viewpoint is very narrow. He is seeing in and out the same day-to-day things that he's been seeing for the last year, but he's looking through a different lens now. Before, he was looking through this lens of hope. He was looking through this lens of, maybe I'll get out of here one day. Maybe they'll mess up. Maybe there'll be something they can't prove. Maybe I'll get the jury on my side. Maybe. But now, maybe they'll kill the witnesses, But now his lens is very, very different. He's coming into a reality of, I am forever going to be forever locked in a metal box with a metal bed. Somebody said the other day, Patrick will never sleep again except next to a toilet, because every prisoner sleeps next to his toilet. And so Patrick's life, his vision, his focus, his mindset is all now going to be revolving around, he will never see the outside of the inside of a prison cell. Whether it be, he gets to get out in the yard and walk around and get some sun, play some soccer, basketball, whatever. But every night he'll be sleeping in a box. And that's got to weigh heavy. It's not normal, just as it's not normal for us to think and talk about the way Patrick murdered Kelsey. It's not normal to talk about that stuff. It's not normal to focus on that, because the human brain, just the normal people aren't that way, right? It's not normal for a man to be put into a box. It's not normal for him to be locked up and be told what to do. He'll never get to choose a meal. He'll never get to choose when he eats. He'll be forced for the rest of his life. He'll be force-fed, basically. He'll be, everything about his life has changed. And it's not that it hadn't changed over the last year. It's not that it's this drastic change. It's his mindset now has changed. Thus the reason he's on suicide watch. So it's going to be one of those things where his time from here to when he gets transferred to DOC will be interesting in Teller County. It'll be interesting, the stories that come out now, because I've heard some stories, I've seen some stuff firsthand of how he's treated, what's going on in Teller County. But it'll be interesting to see what happens now that he's been convicted. And I think he's probably got 6 months to a year before he's going to be transferred. I pray every day and working hard to be able to leave. It's not my country anymore, Annie said. What are y'all talking about? If my crap starts getting hijacked by political talk, I'm going to start just banning folks for the heck of it. I wonder if he has received his first Buckle Bunny letter. Oh, Buckle Bunny letter with pictures. Oh, God. Oh, Raul. It'd be interesting. Oh, you're talking about Germany. Come to America, Germany. Annie, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about America. She lives in Germany. Come to America. It's not much better here. I thought you were talking about America. We got so much political crap going on nowadays. It's hard to keep in track with my local stuff, more or less the national stuff. Anyway, I'm getting political. Patrick Frazee, suicide watch inside Teller County. Is DeYoung really running for Teller County Sheriff? I don't think so. That's the rumor on the street, though. I've heard that from more than one. Hey, I need to clear something up. So tomorrow night we'll be doing a live from the Candlelight Service. We'll probably be doing it on Facebook. That's being hosted by the Woodland Park Police Department, but it's being organized and put together by the same girls that did the same women who did the first prayer vigil. So it's not just the law enforcement doing it. They're just working together. Law enforcement is helping them with some logistics. I thought it was strange that law enforcement was hosting it, but I have confirmed through law enforcement that this is actually being hosted in conjunction with the girls who actually did the last thing. And I talked to them just for a brief moment on Facebook to see if they needed any extra stuff, maybe a sound system or anything, and they said they had it all good and covered. So that's just to give a clarity. Because I made some statements yesterday about them hosting this, and there's been other people make statements about them hosting this, and it's really just it's a joint thing with the law enforcement. Is kind of just helping them organize the logistics, but the ladies who put on the last one will be the ones who are putting on this one as well. And so we'll be there tomorrow. We'll be broadcasting live, probably to Facebook, and then maybe I'll do a Fireside recap chat or whatever and stuff, but we'll see. I have no idea, Justine, if anybody from the family will be there. I would doubt it, though. I would doubt that they're going to be there. I would have a feeling that they have probably gone back to back home. And so I decided I would doubt that they're going to be there. So
us local broken-hearted mamas will be there.
There's going to be a bunch of, my wife just said there's going to be a bunch of local broken-hearted mamas there for sure. And that's probably going to be, there's probably going to be a lot of tears shed tomorrow. A lot of people have grown real fond and have felt like, even people I've talked to just in person, talked to on the phone last night, people had really just have fallen in love with Kelsey and fallen in love with her story. And so, I'm sure that tomorrow will be pretty emotional for a lot of people. Even the girls who put, I know that the girls who are helping put this on, they didn't even know Kelsey, but they're putting this on and they are very much tied to this story, and so it's gonna be emotional. So I just wanted to let everybody know about that. And then on Saturday, there is a celebration of life service that is going to happen at the local, one of the local churches here, the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I believe it's off 67. I'm not 100% sure, but on the address. But I think it is right off 67. And that's at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I probably won't do any video from there at all. Maybe, I don't know. I'll just let the church, I'll just kind of feel it out at the church and feel out how that feels. Tomorrow at the prayer vigil, I'll just set my phone up and you guys can just kind of see and join along with whatever's going on there. But I'm not going to do any like narration or anything during the actual prayer vigil. So, Patrick on suicide watch in the Teller County Jail. Started thinking about this earlier today. Got a few messages and a couple of things about it. Suicide watch at the Teller County Jail. I've gone over it already once in this video, but it is just means he's in holding cell number 1. He's probably wearing the same stuff he's been wearing, but they're checking on him every 15 minutes. A physical person is putting their eyes on Patrick about every 15 minutes. And they have to do like a little imaginary wand thing, like a little metal wand magnet that they have to touch to a little magnet right by his door. So it's kind of like a little leash for the guards. Keep the guards on a leash, make sure they're doing their job, make sure they're not falling asleep like Epstein's guards, you know. So if Patrick's gonna commit suicide, he's gonna have to do it within 15 minutes, and he's gonna have to do it with not being seen. All those cells have cameras in them, but then he's physically, when you're on suicide watch, you're physically being seen by somebody, not just a camera. What else we got? Got a little fireside chat tonight, talking a little bit about Patrick, how his life is completely different now, and it will never be the same. It will. We'll see you, Christy. You gotta run. She's running to mod. She's gotta go mod. Everybody else's live videos are starting right at 10:30. Watch out. I only know that because she told me that so earlier. Y'all can play two at a time. I think there's drama on YouTube tonight. If you're into the drama's happening tonight. What else? What else can we talk about during this beautiful fireside chat? That fireplace right there is putting off some heat, kids. That fire is putting off some heat. Who's all in here tonight? I don't recognize a lot of you guys. Justine, I don't know if I've ever seen you in here. Maybe you have been, and I just didn't see you before. But I see your little icon. Where are you from, Miss Justine? Carol's in here. Christy's out of here. Who else has been chit-chatting? Rose in here. Clunny's in here. I've done 15-minute checks and 1 point. Oh, this is 1 to 1, 2 to 1. Peace and love is in here. Jamie, baby girl, drama, no thank you. Strong now is in here. Suicide watch. Oh my God, figures. Well, strong now. I want to understand that it's not that Patrick has threatened suicide. It's almost a standard thing. It's almost a standard thing. Julie K, I'm a OG. Linda English, where are you from? Who else is in here? Donnie Color. Justine says she has family in Colorado Springs. JP52383. I'm Jess from Charleston, South Carolina. Kansas. Lady D from Tennessee. Chelsea Small at HPI. I don't know what that means, but Barbara Russell, say hi to me. There you go, Barbara. Where are you from, Barbara? Chelsea Small. Camden, South Carolina. Laura B, Iowa in here. Lots of people from all over. Indiana's in the house. Tammy. Lake George. We have a local. Is that Lake George, New York, or Lake George, Colorado? When we're in jail with him, did he appear he was getting along with the other inmates? I'm in Columbus. I'll answer that question in just a second. North Hollywood. I used to live behind the Waffle House on Fillmore and I-25. We get sent down. I'm reading all these now. Reading boring orange gun here. Oh, we got a bunch of people joining. All right, so I'll answer that one question. When I saw Patrick in jail, Patrick was, he was a little. He was up front, so he was. I've seen him twice actually. I saw him when he came out to take his medicines from the actual unit, and then I saw him up front in the holding cell areas. And he didn't have the crap beat out of him. So yeah, Patrick's gonna. Teller County Jail, and especially Teller County Jail, the way they've been treating Patrick, because they had to keep him looking fresh. If he showed up at court with a black eye, the Teller County Sheriff's Department would be getting a bunch of crap. So they had to keep him together when he was making court appearances every month. Now that he doesn't ever get to show up in court again, probably nobody's getting a camera on him. I would be interested to see how everyone's treating him now, because now he's just a criminal. He's just a killer. He's not anything special. He don't have any special treatment. He's not presumed innocent anymore. He has none of that. And so it would be interesting. I don't want to go back to jail, by the way. I ain't trying to go back and find out how Patrick's doing in jail. So Woodland Park PD, if you're listening, that is not what I'm asking for. Teller County, if you're listening, I'm not asking to see Patrick face-to-face in jail. I have no desire. So I would assume, though, that he's not as happy as he was. I can tell you right now, he doesn't have the hope lens anymore. Patrick is not so cocky now. Exactly. He's not looking through the cocky lens of, I'm going to get out of here, or I'm going to get, I got freedom coming. He's no longer looking at these guys going, I'm innocent. I've been set up by the women. The story's out now. Oh, they know, trust me, they got enough local news and enough stuff that they definitely, story is out on Patrick Frazee. And so he's not anything special anymore. Now that he's convicted, the only thing that the other inmates want to know, how much money you got on your books. How much money you got on your books? We still getting pizza, bro? We ain't getting pizza. We ain't going to be so nice anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's all about what can you do for me while I'm in here now. So before it was everybody wanted a little piece of Patrick because he kind of had a little celebrity status. All the guards wanted to be seen escorting him. All the inmates trying to get up to him, talk to him, get a little pizza from him. Not anymore. He's just a convict. So we'll see how much love he's still getting. Maybe we might get to see him. There is rumor that we might get to see him if he testifies as a witness at KK's sentencing. Patrick Frazee, now that you've been found guilty, now that you have basically given your life away, you've been thrown away for life in prison, plus 156 years. If you got your attorney to call up Dan May and said Patrick Frazee wants to testify against Crystal Lee in return for he wants to stay in Colorado's prison system, or he wants to go to Wisconsin prison system, or he wants to be transferred here, or he wants a special privilege here, or he wants something, right? If Patrick were to testify against her at sentencing, it could almost guarantee that KK would do 3 years. So it would be interesting to see, because we might see him again if he were to testify against KK. And if he did that, it could be fun. He should get nothing special, Linda English said. Linda, did you tell me, are you in Lake George New York, or are you in Lake George, Colorado? I didn't see it scroll by. Maybe Omar will do something stupid and be in the cell with her baby. Tell them where Kelseys' remains are for deal 2. Well, the funny thing is Linda says she was from Lake George. If in fact Linda's from the Lake George, yeah, she's from Lake George, Colorado. If in fact, well, she is. She just says she is. Golden Girl 1953. Linda may be closer to Kelseys' remains if he was to put them in the South Platte River. I've tried to tell people before, and Linda will understand what I'm saying here, is just past Lake George, Colorado, you can turn right onto a highway. We call it the road to Terrial Road or whatever. Take a right there, and if you go up just about a mile, you can make another right onto a dirt road. You can drive down that dirt road, and you can be within less than 50 yards to the river, 20 yards to the river. You could park and you could camp and you could walk right down to the river. I've tubed the area. It's called Happy Meadows. And there is a story in which KK tells that Patrick took the remains of Kelsey and put them in the river that was nearby. Well, I can tell you this river is only about a 15-minute drive, maybe even less, maybe about a 10 to 12-minute drive from Patrick's house. And so if he wanted to dump the remains of a body or the remains or ashes, he could very easily dump them in the South Platte River just outside of Lake George, Colorado, where Linda English is from. And I actually like to believe that that's where Kelsey's remains are. I actually like to believe that maybe in some weird way, maybe he was doing it to get away with it. Maybe he was doing it to make himself feel a little humane or whatever. I like to believe that that he was doing that. Maybe he dumped her there in the river, and that's where she finally rested. Yep. 24 headed out Wilkerson Pass. Terriall is before there, but yes. The thing is he would have to come up. I don't know that he could tell the cops where she is and she still be there. Like, he could say, yeah, I dumped her in the river, but they're not going to be able to dredge the river and find whatever a piece of bone that belongs to Kelsey. It's just not logical. And so, unless he buried her remains or unless he hid her remains somewhere that they could then later be recovered. But I just don't think that is the case, because if he had done that, I feel like he may have already pulled that card out, especially when if he was looking for any sort of deal, I just don't think he could actually deliver on saying, this is where her remains are, here she is, The Nash Ranch is huge as well, and it's a huge possibility that Kelsey is somewhere on the Nash Ranch. What's up, Miss Debbie Palmer? Palmer? I don't know. Palmer, I think. I don't see where the recovery of her body is going to be. It's possible maybe that the dogs could. I don't know that dogs can do that. I know that dogs can smell bodies under ice, I know that for a fact. I'm not sure if they can smell it underwater like a human remains, or like under a flowing river. Thank you, Annie. We'll talk to you later in Germany. Nice. I used to be Debbie Wright and got married. There you go. That's what happens when you get married. Lose your name. I think he put her ashes in the river too, Linda. That's where I've always thought. And so, and it's one of my favorite places. I mean, my kids have grown up floating the South Platte River, so yeah, it's morning in Germany where Annie's at. She's taking off. She's probably got to go to work. Put your headphones in, girl. Listen to Dad on the way to work. Dad's in a fireside chat right now. We're talking about Patrick Frazee being on suicide watch. Maybe how could he get out of getting shipped out of Colorado if you were able to give the location of Kelsey's body. We briefly touched on tomorrow night. They'll be having a candle service, a candlelight vigil at the Woodland Park, Memorial Park. And we'll be attending that. You can tune in live probably at a number of places, but we'll have it live on Dad with a Phone on Facebook. Oh, yeah. I have a feeling KK's not sleeping very well either. I definitely believe that as well. She's not going to be sleeping as well as maybe she was. When she heard Dan May say, "We made a deal with the devil," can you imagine her heart dropping? When he said she deserves every day that the judge will give her in jail. So almost making the assumption that the judge is giving her jail time. And so the question will be, can the judge find legal ground in Colorado law? Can he find that legal jargon that he needs to be able to add that aggravated? And in my mind, there's just no way he can't somehow come up with a legal way to give her that 3 years in prison. So she definitely ain't sleeping very good. How far are the farmhouses from the Nash to the Frazees? It's about a 30 minute, maybe could be a 40-minute drive, but I would say about a 30-minute drive from Florissant, Colorado to the Nash Ranch. Oh, did I just knock my camera off? I sure did. Ooh, that thing got hot. That thing is hot. I just knocked y'all off. Jamie, your comment is held for approval. I guess I'll show your comment there. I had to tell, I think the judge will add, don't you, did his voice crack when speaking of the crime? I think the judge is going to add. The judge was pretty swift and clear cut with the sentence he gave Patrick. You can tell he's not real happy with this crime, and so yeah, he had his chances to show us his demeanor. So I have a feeling the judge will definitely give her some. She's gonna spend some time in jail. Now the question will be, will she? A lot of times, I'm telling you, it's crazy, but a lot of times what can happen is, if she could do all her time in a county jail, and if she had to do it in any county, so this is where I'd want the script to flip, right? Before, I've been talking about how Teller County is a Holiday Inn, so I kind of would like to see her end up in jail in El Paso County. The reason I say that, because it's a much larger, much dingier, much more crowded, much, better chance she's going to come across somebody who knew her, knew who she was, and then is going to give her, if she was going to spend all her time in county. Now, if they decide to send her upstate, as they would say, or if they decide to check her into the DOC system without letting her keep her time in county, you have to understand the prison systems are so overpacked. I mean, people, they're just shoving people in boxes as fast as they can build those boxes. So you have to, there's a good possibility she could spend a lot more time in county jail and not make it into the prison system if in fact she was only given 3 years, because her sentence, no matter what happens, no matter what they deal down, she'll still be able to get time for good behavior. And so she may only do half of her sentence, and then she'd have to do the other half on parole, and so it's one of those things. No tunnels on the way to Cripple Creek. You could go, if you go Gold Camp Road, there's some tunnels, but not from Woodland Park to Cripple Creek. There's no tunnels. Well, you don't have much to give, Zelda. if you're a girl, if either one of KK or Fifi would tell the bear where Kelseys' remains are, that's the only thing they could help her. So he originally took her body to the Nash Ranch and then took her to his place, and that's how his mama was able to see the fire burning when she was on the deck watching. Absolutely disgusting. Yep. That's about the long and short of it. If in fact she gets probation, so if, let's say he doesn't give her any jail time and she gets probation, not parole, but probation. So she's only going to get parole if she goes to jail. If she doesn't go to jail, it's a possibility she could do 18 months of probation as her sentence lies now. It doesn't call for jail time. It has to be, the jail time has to come from the judge himself. And so if in fact she was given no jail time and just given probation, I think there is a possibility that they would transfer her probation to Idaho, because she could show that's where she works, that's where her family is. There is a possibility to transfer her probation to Idaho. There's a real, let me tell you, there's a real possibility that she gets minimal jail time, maybe a year if we're lucky, maybe 6 months, and then she would serve out a parole time which then if she violated parole, she would go back to jail. The good thing about getting her into the jail system or getting her into the prison system is it would be good to get her on parole, because she'll be, there's a chance she could wear an ankle monitor. There's a chance if she violates that parole, she could get her full sentence. There's all kinds of little loopholes, which the nature of her crime, the high profile of the crime, the high profile of keeping it in the news, people know who she is. By the way, she's changed her name to like Crystal Jean Lee or something like that. Crystal. She's changed her name. She's not going by the last name Kinney. She's going by the last name Lee. So Crystal Lee, but it's like Crystal Jean Lee or something like that. Somebody may be able to put her full name in there. I like to call her convicted felon because she is already convicted. She's already pled guilty. She just hasn't been sentenced. So she's already pled guilty to a felony, but she hasn't been sentenced. Idaho is way weak. They are soft. Keep her somewhere. She's going to hate it. Yeah, it would be interesting if they transferred her, because she hasn't had to spend a day in jail here. That's what people need to understand. This woman didn't even get arrested in the county in which she committed the crime. She never got extradited back to the county she committed the crime. Old Ma's gonna take KK a special Starbucks, huh? Pull the old Starbucks on her. I can't even drink Starbucks anymore. Well, I think why she changed her name is because her husband divorced her. Is the truth. Well, I told somebody, Gabriel, they need to go over to Wikipedia, and next to the devil definition, they need to put Crystal Lee Kinney or Crystal Jean Kinney or Crystal Jean Lee or whatever her name is now, and just add to the Wikipedia definition of the devil. Is she allowed to leave Colorado and see her kids? Yeah, she hasn't been in the state of Colorado during all this waiting time. So for this whole year, she's been in Idaho. As a matter of fact, we've shown pictures of her in Idaho at the 4th of July parade. We had people texting us from the 4th of July parade telling us that Crystal Lee was running around the 4th of July parade with her kids. And so she's been walking free, doing her free thing since the day she came down here and talked. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is on her custody stuff. I'm not 100% sure on what her relationship and status is. But I would assume that they've been watching her as a mother since this thing went down. I'm enjoying my fire. Star yucks, Michelle says. Well, sweet. I think I'm going to wrap this live up. I wanted to jump on and just talk a little bit about Patrick's situation. So if you missed the beginning of this live, make sure to go back and listen. I talk a little bit more about Patrick's situation, where he's being held right now, suicide watch, and how his demeanor has completely changed. his lens is no longer the same, and so he's looking through a different lens now. New sub, been Enya. Did she get struck by the nursing board? Last I saw that she still had her nursing license, but all I was seeing was like screenshots. So I don't know how far back those screenshots go, but when people told me they looked up like her nursing license, she still had her nursing license. And so I don't know exactly how long it takes, or if they had to wait until she was sentenced to take her nursing license, because she will. It's on the record. Now, I don't think she got a deferred sentence, so I don't think this is something that's ever going to go away. If she got a deferred sentence, which, let me be honest, if they gave her a deferred felony for helping clean up, and they just kept that a secret, I would be, and it's possible. You got to understand, they made that deal with her before they knew what she did. And so it's very, very possible that they gave her a deferred sentence. And if they did, it is just outrageous. But you heard Dan May. I made a deal with the devil, and I ain't happy about it. So you gotta understand, he ain't happy about it. So when I heard that note, just how gangster will you get, PF? He got real snitch-like on you. Tell us where the drama on the YouTube is tonight. Go listen to J is for Justice. I think she's in a live right now talking about drama. She's in, it's like the 411 with Jay or something. I'm not 100% sure what channel she's on. I just know that somebody told me she was doing a drama one tonight. There was going to be some YouTube drama go down. So we made a deal with the devil. Dan May's book. Dan May, and it'll be sold right next to my book, Murder at 8500. So Dan May's gonna sell a book called We Made a Deal with the Devil, and it's gonna be sold right next to Murder at 8500 by Dad with a Phone. Golden Girl said, I've been there earlier. Been up there earlier. Yeah, they should take her nursing license away. Hands down, no doubt. Will they take her nursing license away? I don't know. We'll see. Thank you, Lisa Donald from Scotland. I love it when people from all over the world following Dad with a Phone. I feel like I got peeps all over. Do you think you could ever interview him in jail? I don't know. I guess I could try to get on his visitor list or request to be on his visitor list. Like I probably would have to write Patrick Frazee in the Teller County Jail. and just say, hey, this is Michael Dalton, dad with a phone. Would you do an interview with me through a visitation? And he would have to write me back or somehow get word to me. I guess if he would do it, he could tell old Ma, because I'm sure he's still getting visits from old Ma right now, or at least phone calls. And so I guess, maybe I throw a phone card in there and tell him to give me a call, or tell him to call me collect, throw my number in there and tell him to call me collect. I'll take his call. Maybe he could do a interview over the phone, but they record the phone conversations. But at this point, they can't do anything to him. That's the thing. Like, he can say whatever he wants now, and they can't give him more on top of life in prison plus 156 years. So the question would be what would be his motivation for talking to anyone? The only reason he would talk to anyone is for money. And so then is someone willing to pay Patrick for his story? And, the way they would pay him is to pay Ma, or maybe to put money, a big sum of money on his books, but he's going to be hit with court costs. See, that's the other thing that people don't realize. Like, any money that goes on his books right now since he's been convicted, like, people, if they send money to him, they're going to actually be paying his court cost. And so they're going to be paying his court cost. And so because now he's going to have bang court costs, thousands of dollars worth of court costs. And so he got hit with all of that on top of the guilty charge, right? And so he's going to have to pay some bank for those court costs, which means when people send him money, it goes on his books. He's going to lose all that money. So no more pizza parties. Before you're convicted, they can't take your money like that. Once you're convicted and people send you money on your books, oh boy, howdy, court cost comes out of that. And so where's the article in which he's on suicide watch? Normally, you getting it first from Dad with a phone. Them kids are catching up. The kids at the paper will be catching up. You got that first on Dad with a phone, so I guarantee he's on suicide watch. Not even a hesitation. He's in holding cell number 4. Or holding cell number 1. Not even number 4. He's in number 1. Do you know what facility he is going to? No, we won't find that out. We do have a DOC number on him, so we can actually track him. Patrick and KK are subhuman, is what Lou said. I got to show that. I had you hidden there for a second. Lou R. All right, Stephanie A. Sounds like a perfect time to exit. You stay safe. My name is Michael. They call me Dad with a Phone. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube. You can also find me on the Woodland Park Underground or on Twitter at Michael E. Dalton. Kick it. We'll talk to you guys later. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. No. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'll be live from the Candlelight Vigil in Woodland Park, Colorado. So join us tomorrow live at the Candlelight Vigil for Kelsey Barrett, 6 to 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, we'll be doing some reports from the Celebration of Life service, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'll talk to you guys later.